Welcome back to another episode of Riding Shotgun. I'm Oliver.
I'm Zach.
Nicely done. And we're back in the car again and ready with another set of topics.
We are.
So I think I'm going to start this one today. I think the biggest news only came out a couple of days ago is Twitter. No longer Twitter.
No, it's called X now, isn't it?
It is. It's called X, which... How do you feel about it?
Well, I don't know. So it all sort of came around really quick. One day it was a little bird and the next day it's an X. There wasn't really any build-up. There was nothing. You just sort of saw rumours about it.
Yeah.
Just all over, like literally the day before type thing. Next thing you know, the logo is an X. You know, everything's blacked out. Which, don't get me wrong, I think the aesthetic is very nice.
Oh, I do like it as a new brand.
It is very clean. However, I don't like the fact they've just called it X.
No, it's going to be... I think Twitter has had a very strong brand, and I don't know whether that works with them or whether it works against them. Because with the kind of things that have happened in the past 18 months or so.
But there's just something about the word Twitter. It just sort of rolls off your tongue. Whereas X, I don't think I can quite stand behind it. It doesn't sound... I don't know. It just doesn't roll off the tongue the same way Twitter does.
Yeah, so it's like, what are you going to... What are you going to X something? Because you tweet.
You're not tweeting anymore, are you?
No.
Xing it.
I do think there's going to be a massive crossover phase. So X will come in, X will be the brand, no more Twitter, Twitter's done. But there's probably going to be like 2 years worth of...
Yeah, well, it'll be one of those ones where it's only the new users. And it might be a generational thing. It might be only the generation after us will see it as X.
Very true.
They don't know it as Twitter.
Yeah.
So it might be the generation coming up into social media now will know it and call it X.
Yeah.
Which is really weird.
I'm sure there was... I never used Musical.ly. But
yeah, very true.
I'm sure when Musical.ly got changed into TikTok, the core Musical.ly fans were like, I could never call it TikTok.
Yeah.
And a year later, they were calling it TikTok.
True. Very true. But yeah, overall, I think it's Elon doing what he does best.
Yeah, I think you brought it up the other day that he's now got X over all of his brands. So he's got
pretty much.
SpaceX, he's got a Tesla Model X.
Yeah.
Twitter is now X.
Yeah. Like you say, he is... when you put all of his brands together, they do look really clean.
They do.
They do look really... And you have to admire it, being like a half graphic designer. You have to admire when things do look nice.
Yeah, game recognises game.
Yeah.
And I think it's crazy to have so many brands over so many different industries, all under one cohesive kind of brand-led icon.
Well, if you think he started, what did he start? It was PayPal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was what he was pretty much known for. And then now he owns space, he owns Earth, he now owns social media. Like, it's just crazy. Like, you wouldn't expect Elon Musk, when he did, to buy Twitter. You just wouldn't expect it.
No.
No. But no.
So we'll see what happens. I think he's going to do... I heard he's trying to bring some e-commerce into Twitter. Or now X. So I think he's gonna do some interesting things. I think Mark Zuckerberg is ready and waiting to pick up the slack for those who just want...
See, this is what I literally was saying. Do you think he knows something that we don't? Because Threads came out before the rebrand.
Yeah.
And he made it identical to Twitter. So is there something he knows that we don't? Is Elon going to change Twitter so much to the point where it's not recognisable anymore and Threads is going to take that place?
Yeah. I reckon he was in the know, something was happening.
Yeah.
Or he's just got that good intuition that he's like, Elon isn't going to mess it up, but he's going to change it so much that some of the core audience of Twitter is going to be looking for something.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as time comes.
Yeah, I'll be interested to follow it out.
But yeah, did you see, and this is completely different, did you see the Mbappe potential move to Saudi Arabia?
No.
So I've got some stats for you.
Okay.
It's not really related to what we talk about usually, but I just thought I had to bring it up because it was silly.
Right.
So he will be getting paid. He's been offered around 600 million a year. When you think about that, if I break that down for the people that might think, oh, that's a lot of money, but it's not that much. If I break that down, that's 11.6 million per week.
Yeah.
That's 1.6 million a day. And the kicker, 69,000 an hour.
Oh, that's...
Think about it. The average person is working for 10, 11, 12 an hour.
Oh,
pounds.
I think
not thousand.
I think the average wage in the UK is 35-ish thousand.
And he's doubling that an hour.
Doubling that per hour to play football.
Imagine that.
That's... And everyone knows football wages are ridiculous anyway. But that just goes to show the amount of money that kind of the Emirates are willing to put into football, sport, entertainment in general.
But it's just Saudi Arabia right now. They're doing it everywhere. They're doing it with tech.
Yep.
They're now in the football space. You know, they're taking on Messi, Ronaldo. Now, potentially, he'd be silly not to go. Mbappe, wouldn't he? With that amount of money, you'd go out there for a year or two. You'd be silly not to.
The only thing that I have with Mbappe, and I think it's a sort of bit like Messi, but I think Messi has kind of come to a point in his career where he's not on the downturn, but he's getting older. He's like, right,
calm down a bit.
Yeah, where's my legacy? What's happening with this?
Yeah, it's like, I'm done now. Let me go to Saudi Arabia and score 50, 60 goals.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he's Beckham's team, isn't he? Over in the States. But with Mbappe, I don't know much about football, I admit, but he still feels like he's kind of in his prime.
Well, he is in his prime.
That's the thing.
What is it, 23, 24?
So, sure, it's a shed ton of money, and that's multi-generational wealth that you could build. But
over 2 years.
Over 2 years.
Literally.
Over 1 year.
Over 1 year.
But what's that going to do for legacy? Or maybe he just doesn't care about that.
Yeah.
But I know the offer's out there. Nothing's been confirmed yet, so we'll see what happens in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I just thought it was a fun one to talk about.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier something about a podcast with Google X talking about AI.
Yeah.
You said you wanted to mention it. I haven't actually watched it, but you said it was quite interesting.
So I listened to Diary of a CEO, which is run by a guy called Stephen Bartlett. He's on Dragon's Den. Yeah. He started a social media company, made lots of money. But he had a guy on it called Mo Gawdat, who used to head up a division called Google X, which is the experimental AI division of Google.
Okay.
So he was instrumental, I think, around 2008 to 2012 or so. So this was very, very early days with AI. Nothing compared to what we see with ChatGPT, OpenAI, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But this is like the birthplace of kind of how it happened.
Yeah.
And some of the things he was saying in terms of where he envisions it going, and it was all spoken in hypotheticals. This is what could happen. This is what might happen. But it's just a very interesting listen to hear someone like that who's seen it from its conception to where it is now. And he almost spoke with not a level of fear, but a level of uneasy uncertainty.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I've seen a lot of different thoughts and things of people showing like an AI timeline and seeing where it can go and what it will be used for.
Yeah.
And it's just seeing things like the Neuralink and things.
Yes.
The chip that goes in your brain.
Yeah.
I think that is pinnacle fear. Like,
well, that's just out there to make us all a bit shook.
The thing about it. So the idea of the Neuralink is you're capable of doing things like speaking telepathically.
Yeah.
And reading each other's minds and stuff like that.
Could you imagine having ChatGPT like in your brain?
In your brain.
You don't even
think about something and it comes to you.
Yeah.
Like, it's just what is the point of being? You're not human anymore. At that point, you're not human anymore.
No.
And I think that's absolutely terrifying, and that's quite a scary thing about AI.
And I do think there does become a point, and I think I read an article about this, probably about 6 months or so ago, said that 2024 could be the end of original content.
2024?
Yeah. So...
Not as long as we're around.
No. But by next year, all blog posts, scripts, videos, photos is all going to be so heavily generated by AI that it's going to be rare for someone to genuinely go out and create something like properly original.
Yeah. Well, it's like you say that. Well, when you were mentioning that, the first thing I thought about was, but you'll still have people taking selfies. And we didn't have this topic noted down today, but now that you've mentioned that, like I said, the first thing that came to my head was selfies. They have to be original, right? When you think there's an app called Remo, similar, something like that. And you basically upload 5 or 6 different pictures of yourself.
Yeah.
And it will give you however many different styles of pictures, selfies of yourself. I'm talking headshots. You on a beach in a bikini.
Yep.
Whatever you want. So it's
everything.
Is it going to get to the point where even your selfies become AI generated?
And the problem is, things like Instagram, everyone's putting out their best life. So you could be sat at home doing whatever in your PJs and still put up a perfectly preened image of you. Not doing anything fancy, just saying like, I'm sat at home with the coffee. But that's not you sat at home with the coffee.
Yeah.
You're sat tucked up in bed with a coffee. But it now changes it to this very, very perfect image, which again, what's that going to do for kind of society?
It could either push original content and become more in demand because everyone's using AI and it's so easy that I now want really premium stuff.
Yeah.
So all the people that are producing premium stuff can up their price and become more niche. But then everyone that creates just the average mediocre stuff, it's a long day for you. Because AI will do that exact same thing you're doing.
As in, if I'm a small business, and this is a bit of our market, unfortunately, if I'm a small business, I'm like, do I want to pay whatever for a professional photographer to come in? Or do I get all of my team to send me 5 photos each? I run it through AI. Bing, bang, bosh. Yeah. You've got 5 photos of everybody that's applicable for the website.
And I think, I don't want to keep talking about AI, but I think that in terms of business adverts, that is where your AI will shine. So if you're in the niche of business adverts, as in, the typical
animation,
men in a suit,
stock photos,
that sort of stuff, then you're sort of screwed.
Yeah.
But I just thought from that podcast you were saying when he like you said, he didn't speak with fear, but he sounded a little bit
I think
on edge.
For me, it was the point that he said, so we're carbon-based life forms. Humans' life on Earth is carbon-based, but AI is silicon-based because it lives on a computer.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need any matter to translate between like silicon-based to silicon-based.
Yeah.
So it can go over Wi-Fi, which if it can harness and get into things like radio wave and radio signals, there's nothing stopping it from finding a silicon-based planet and managing to harness that and go onto a completely separate planet. And this is one of those it's one of those kind of thought processes that odds of it happening 0.1. But
you say the odds are happening 0.000, but as weeks go on, it just seems to be more not doable, but I don't know the word. It seems to be more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's coming true.
It could
Smallest little sliver every week.
But
as AI advances,
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Yeah, and it's just
watch the space.
Yeah. Well, we could talk about AI all day.
We could. We have done.
Yeah, we have done. But yeah, I think. Have you seen the new movies coming out? Well, they're already out now, aren't they?
They are.
The Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Oh, good old. Yeah, Oppenheimer. Good old Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
See, Barbie, yeah, it's cool. But I'm, as a filmmaker, I'm very interested in Oppenheimer. I haven't seen it yet, and I need to.
Yeah, I really want to see it.
See it in proper IMAX.
Yeah.
I think what Christopher Nolan has done with that film has taken it truly back to movie making.
Yeah.
And with the advent of Netflix, Amazon Prime, pumping out films left, right, centre, and I know we've got the writer's strike going on at the moment, which they're kind of trying to push back on streaming and all of that.
Yeah.
So with everything kind of being pumped out all the time, to have movies like Oppenheimer, like the new Top Gun, proper Hollywood productions that are still coming out, I think is kind of crucial to the movie and entertainment industry.
Oh, yeah. And it's just, like you say, I haven't seen it. I've seen like the trailer and I've seen some clips around.
Yeah.
But it's just the style of the movie. It's just, from filmmakers. It's a bit cringe, but it just is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like you look at it and you just think that's stunning.
It's a proper film.
Yeah.
I think the best stat I heard about it though. So Oppenheimer cost $100 million.
Okay.
To make.
Is that including everything pre, post, marketing?
All in.
Okay.
All in, $100 million. That's, yeah. Could you guess the marketing budget for the Barbie film?
So this is without all the filming.
This doesn't
literally just the marketing.
Just marketing. This doesn't include any of the making film.
You were saying Oppenheimer had 100 million for the entire thing.
Yes.
I'm gonna go. It'd be silly for me to have a good answer. I'm gonna go 30 million.
30 million. See, that would make
just
sense.
For the marketing. So.
Yeah, just for the marketing.
Yeah.
So no, you're about 5 times off. So Barbie had a budget of $150 million.
Jesus.
Just on marketing.
So Barbie had a higher marketing budget than Oppenheimer's entire budget.
Yes. And that was for a big film.
Yeah.
Like Hollywood blockbuster.
There's so much money out there.
Yeah, but I think the crazy thing is, I don't think Oppenheimer needed the marketing budget because Barbie did it for them.
Very true.
Because it released on the same day, everyone was like, oh, what one are you going to go see?
Yeah.
So essentially Oppenheimer also had a $150 million marketing budget.
All they needed was a little bit of marketing so people sort of saw it once type thing.
And you're always going to have that. It's a Christopher Nolan film. They've got a massive cast. Like, it was going to be a big film anyway. But you put those two together and...
Yeah.
Happy days.
It's like, I want to see Oppenheimer and the missus wants to see Barbie. So I'm going to end up seeing both anyway.
Yeah, same probably.
It'll be interesting to see how that all pans out.
Yeah, see the two sides of cinema. I've got nothing against Barbie. I want to see what it's about.
Me neither. Finally, in terms of the topics that have happened this week, is the Da Vinci update.
So this...
Talk to me about that.
I love it. I'm a bit of a Da Vinci nerd at the moment. Swapped from Premiere Pro about 6 months ago. Yeah. I finally got you over to the dark side.
Yeah. I've made the move.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't do video editing and stuff, Da Vinci is a computer editing software for videos, a bit like Premiere Pro. We use it to make videos and whatnot, but it's come with a new update, which is being very kind of AI led. So you can now do...
Here we go again.
Oh, I love it. Not going to talk about the AI bits, but you can do mad things like relighting a scene. So say you got a scene, you don't like the lighting of it, should have been a bit brighter. It will analyze the entire 3D space of the scene and you can put new different lights in, which I just think is absolutely crazy.
Game changing, really.
Yeah, absolutely game changing. So that whole meme of we'll fix it in post,
it's becoming true.
It is genuinely,
which is annoying. Partly annoying because it means now any old guy, any good editor can now pick up a camera,
yes,
film anything, but because they're good at editing, they can have it perfectly lit.
So there are, again, we're still a bit far off, but this is going to the whole thing of, if you're in this industry, especially the creative industry, and any industry in general, either you have to be harnessing these bits of software, or you've got to be so good at your craft that you beat these bits of software.
Yeah, you either harness AI or you get left behind.
Pretty much. And I like to think we're trying to harness it as best as we can, because we're not being left behind. That's can't have that.
But yeah, I think sort of pushing time. So, as always, at the end of every episode, we'd like to talk about something for you guys to take away with you after the episode. And today, we thought it would be fitting to talk about colour grading.
Yeah.
Seeing as we've just come off the back of lighting.
Well, and Oppenheimer and Barbie.
Like complete opposite ends of LUTs.
Yep.
Opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of LUTs.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, a LUT is like an Instagram filter. It's a look. It stands for lookup table. It's a look that you apply over an entire film to give it a certain feel, to give it a certain colour grade. And things like, you look at all of the promotion, all the trailers for Barbie, you look at all the promotion, all the trailers for Oppenheimer, and they look completely different. Like, they're from two, you could take an image from either film, and they don't match. You know they're not from the same film, same era. But
it's like, for the people that don't truly understand how powerful colour grading can be, some examples is, the type of colour grade can depend on the mood you feel when you're watching a scene. So, for example, some that we have written down here is Harry Potter.
Yes.
You don't notice it, but if you was to go back and watch the Harry Potter films now, and I'm telling you, it has a very blue tint.
Well, but I think the blue tint, I'm a bit of a Harry Potter nerd, but the blue tint comes in from about the 5th film. So as it starts to get a bit darker, a bit more adult, I think in terms of colour grading, watch the intro for every Harry Potter. I think someone's done a video where you can see it all right next to each other. And you literally go from like bright, colourful, warm, happy-go-lucky kids film to the last one is like adult, dark, moody, which fits with the story.
Yeah. And leading back to like the colour grading side of it, the reason it is blue is because it makes you subconsciously feel cold, makes you feel on edge. And when you're watching a movie like Harry Potter in the later movies, that is how you are meant to feel when you're watching it. Like slightly on edge.
Yeah, slightly a bit doom.
Yeah, so what's the word? Not juxtaposition. Foreshadowing.
Yes.
It's even everything down to the colour of the scene is foreshadowing what's about to happen later in the movie. But then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have The Martian.
Yeah.
This is more your area.
Yeah, so I've seen, I don't know if you're aware of The Martian, so it's starring Matt Damon.
Okay.
Is human, goes to Mars, something goes wrong, all of his buddies leave, and now he's stuck on Mars. Okay. He's the only person on Mars, he's the Martian. I've seen behind the scenes of that, and it genuinely looks like he's just shot on Earth. Yeah. It looks a bit silly. It looks like a film set, it's like they've dressed it up.
Yeah.
But you watch the film, and they've kind of put so much red into the colour grade that it completely changes the feel of the scene.
Yeah.
So you don't start to second guess it, and it makes it so much more immersive.
Yeah.
As an experience.
And it's like, leading back to moods. You see something that red, and you automatically feel warm. You automatically feel hot. Yeah. I wouldn't say you feel safe. That's a completely different grade.
Yes.
It's a sunny type of grade.
Yeah.
The way The Martian did it was such an aggressive red that, again, you felt uneasy.
Oh, you almost felt overwhelmed.
Yeah.
With what he's going through, because it's just so encapsulating with just the redness, especially when he was on the outside seats.
So you might be a bit confused of why we're telling you this, but like I say, we want you to take something away. So in terms of color grading, for anyone that's new, there are hundreds and thousands of free, or you can pay whatever, depending on the lot you want, that you can download on the internet, and you can just drag and drop straight onto your scene, and it gives you that LUT. If you want a light blue, there's a LUT for it. If you want, harsh spotlights, that'll be there. If you want a brown, there's LUTs for everything. Everyone, think about what mood you want your viewer to feel when they're watching your scene.
Yes.
And apply the LUT. L-U-T, apply the LUT that applies.
Yeah, and
fits.
I think it kind of goes with a bit of taste. So I've done it before. You whack a LUT on, you're like, oh, I thought that was going to look good. And then you kind of pull it back a bit. Yeah. So sometimes don't have that like 100%.
Yeah.
Put it back a bit, tweak it a little, and then you're going to kind of get the look that you want.
Yeah.
But I think it's such an easy and quick way to get any mood across that you're trying to convey in your short film.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much done.
Yeah, I think happy with all those topics. Then the only thing to say is thank you for listening.
We'll see you next Thursday.
See you next Thursday
at 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Next Thursday at 3 p.m. Don't miss it.
Cheers.